so kind.
Is it on? Can you hear me now? Okay. My name is Rabbi Len Muroff. I don't remember anybody's name, so thank you for wearing your badges. It's really a pleasure to be here. I like doing things off script, so we're going to start with Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. This is the easy part. Clearly tape delayed. We are going to begin with a nigun. This is Miranda Mower, who's joining us this evening to add beautiful music. We're happy to have you. We will be using the sidurim, so those beautiful blue volumes that are in front of you. You can choose to use it. You could just sing from memory, open your heart to God, whatever works for you. So we begin with a nigun, Shabbat Shalom, and then I'll tell you what's next.
All right, this one isn't wordless, unfortunately, but it is one that you should know. So here we go. Tech will figure that out.
They're going to know.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Come, O Sabbath day, and bring peace and healing on thy wing. And to every weary one, let God's word of blessing come. Thou shalt rest, thou shalt rest. Welcome Sabbath, let depart every care of troubled heart. Now the daily task is done, let God's words of comfort come. Thou shalt rest, thou shalt rest. Wipe every cheek the tear, banish care and silence fear. All things... Excuse me. Good thing I didn't have a mic right next to my nose. All things working for the best, teach us the divine behest. Thou shalt rest. Thou shalt rest. We are going to begin with announcements so that your grumbling stomachs don't prevent you later on from hearing the important things that our President Leslie Berger has to share. I'm pleased to call her to come forward.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Leslie Berger, President of Temple Beth Or, and like to officially welcome Rabbi Len Muroff to the Bima as our new rabbi. We're very excited to be working with you. And we have a guest, as he already introduced, soloist tonight, Miranda Mower. Welcome to our temple.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike and Sharon Kravitz and the search committee for sponsoring the ONIC tonight and the board for sponsoring the live flowers in honor of Rabbi Muroff. Next Friday is the board installation. Please join us. Next Tuesday at 7 p.m., Rabbi Muroff is having tour study at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and the Zoom link will be emailed to you on Sunday. We're also collecting school supplies for families in need until August 11th. The box is in the foyer. Thank you, Rabbi Muroff, for leading services tonight, and thank you, Miranda, for your lovely voice, and thank you, Dr. Ray, for the beautiful music. As an aside, we have 2 angel tickets that just became available. The Critchmores can't go to the game. Next Saturday, if you're interested, see me, $65. Thanks to our tech team, Phil Carey, David Youngman, the birthday boy, happy birthday, David, and Chris Jastrock. And of course, Susan Carey, who runs the chat on YouTube. Thanks to our ushers, Dana and Toby Porter. And the security exits are And the slides will be coming up shortly. Phil? There. Okay, so we have Shabbat greetings from Jeff and Wilma Shear, Rita and Bob Rubin, and Ted and Noel Singer, who are here tonight. Thank you for supporting our fundraiser. And thank you to the Board of Directors for the live flowers on the bima tonight in honor of Rabbi Muroff. Pretty flowers. And to Mike and Sharon Kravitz and the Rabbi Search Committee in honor of Rabbi Muroff's first Shabbat at TBO. They're honoring the oneg. So it should be yummy food tonight. Shabbat shalom.
We are going to continue with Hinema Tov. I like being positive. Anybody here like to kvetch more than they like to say nice things? Anybody like to say nice things? Okay, we're going to leave kvetching behind because God wants us to express our joy, and that's what we do on Shabbat. So Hinema Tov is found on page 10. It's a beautiful tune, and it's focusing on how beautiful the world is. Page 10. We'll let the sound people pick up whether the mics are working or not. Shalom Aleichem. We continue. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei
Ellie, whose birthday, a little birdie told me, is coming up sometime in the next 24 hours. She will lead us in a reading on page 3 and then the blessing on page 2.
We'll get it. Oh, okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvot tzivanu, lahad ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Ellie's already reaching, but let me tell you what the certificate says. It says, Yom Huledet Sameach, happy birthday, Ad Mea V'Asri, may you live to 120.
Oh, yes.
Your life is a gift from God, and we are grateful to God for all the blessings you bring into the world. May you be blessed with peace and good health. Happy birthday, Ellie. In honor of your birthday, July 15th, 2023, the 26th of Tammuz, signed by Leslie Berger and the new Rabbi Len Muroff.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Do you have
Do you want a hand?
I think. Okay. Thank you.
You may be seated. Page 15, we're going to do an English reading. Are there any shy people here? Anybody here shy? Okay, so then we'll read as a group so no one feels put on the spot. So we'll read together at the bottom of page 15, because the Psalms are designed to express our gratitude to God. We read together at the bottom, a psalm. A psalm, sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness towards the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. So in that spirit, in terms of breaking into song, we are going to turn to page 20, then 21. We will sing Lecha Dodi, the first two and the last two. When we get to the last stanza, you may know that our custom is to rise and symbolically greet the Sabbath bride and hopefully no late arriving individuals. So we're going to begin with Lecha Dodi, page 20, Miranda and Dr. Ray.
בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה Shabbat ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, אל ידיש בן פרצי, ואני שמחה ונגילה. שלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה
standing. This has been the warm-up section. So if you have any other heebie-jeebies you need to get out of your system, now's the time. Shake it out, shake it out. You may also not have taken a deep breath in a while. So let's all take a deep breath. We change our oil sometimes more often than our breath. So it's good to take a deep breath, get rid of the old stuff, get ready. I took Pilates recently, so it's in through the nose, she said, out through the mouth. Okay, one more, she would say. Now we're ready to bless and to thank God for the mitzvah, the luck we have to be together as part of a community. Baruch Hu, the call to worship is found on page 28. We turn towards the ark. Please be seated. Now, it's not enough just to bless. You have to tell God or the people in your life that you love them. You can't just say, oh, you're kind of okay. You have to, especially with God and the people closest to you, pour your heart out. And that's what page 32 is, Ahavat Olam. We're talking about the everlasting love that God gave to our people in the past and gives to us today. Ahavat Olam, page 32. Everlasting joy you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Up to the Hebrew or transliteration, Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, v'yavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Please rise slowly, because I need a minute to get up to the ark. I'm going to open the ark. And we'll join together with Miranda, accompanied by Dr. Ray, the Shema, page 34. We continue. V'ahavta in English. Please read with me on page 36. And after I finish, Dr. Ray and Miranda will help us with a beautiful version by Debbie Friedman. So we read together, middle page 36. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. And you shall love your God.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates. They may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Can we do this? Is this okay? That was very beautiful. Thank you. Mi Kamocha, page 40, is where we express our exuberant appreciation to God for all that God has done for us in the past, the support and warmth of a godly community like this, and what we hope God will continue to provide to us in the future. Page 40, Mi Kamocha.
Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo dosefele, nora tehilo dosefele. Malechut tehara uvanecha, okei hayom lifnei Moshe. Ze Elianu ve'ameru, ze Eli ve'ameru.
שנאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגלות מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. We'll read the middle paragraph in English because Miriam was not in the liturgy that the late Debbie Friedman had, so we'll read it right here. Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam, and also Aaron. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Does anybody ever have a hard time sleeping? Does everyone sleep without medication or beautiful music on Spotify? Everyone goes to bed and sleeps 8 hours? Okay, who sleeps 8 hours every night? Okay, so the rabbis of old knew that, and so that's why on page 42 you find Hashkivenu. God wants to be sure that we acknowledge that not everything is peachy and we all don't sleep as we would like. And this is asking God to help us lie down in peace, to be able to maybe take a deep breath, listen to good music, think about the positive things that happen in the day, because it's tough. And it's beautiful and peaceful sleep at times is evasive. So page 42, Hashkivenu, with a beautiful tune written by Craig Taubman, is what we'll focus on next. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tziteinu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Let's read together in the middle of the page the translation of what was just sung so beautifully by Miranda with accompaniment by Dr. Ray. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. I called somebody today and they weren't sure what day it was. That person is related to me and is studying for the bar. They said, "Oh, it's Friday, Dad, and you're calling me." Oh, so that's really nice. But sometimes we rush so much. It's not only people studying for big exams and may forget what day it is, but this is Friday, and it's not just another day. For Jewish people, the Sabbath starts now. And so in a moment, we're going to sing V'Shamru, but first, I'm going to do a little teaching. So what are some of your favorite sea animals? Anybody? Yes. A seal. Good. Otters. Good. Any walrus. Anybody else have any favorite fun sea animals? Maybe you saw it. Whales. Okay. Anybody like lobster? And you think I didn't know I was at a Reformed synagogue, okay? What do you think lobsters can teach us about how to be good people? And I learned this from an Orthodox rabbi who didn't like being a rabbi, so he went to medical school and became a psychiatrist. Rabbi Abraham Twersky of blessed memory died during COVID. Oh, before I tell you what he said, what do you think a lobster can teach us about how to be a good Jew? No. What is it about how a lobster lives? It's not a trick question. Because Rabbi Twersky worked with the addiction community at Gateway Hospital in Pittsburgh. And he was a noted psychiatrist and really helped many, many people. It's not a way to trip you up. Because he really feels a lobster has so much to teach us. Anything? I'll tell you what he said, but what do you think? This is the audience participation part of the service. What was that? Self-preservation, okay? In what way? Like get people away from you? Okay, so you can protect yourself, okay? What do we know about a lobster? They're bottom feeders. Is that a good thing? Okay, so Julie wants us to make sure we stay afterwards to help Jody clean up. Is that what you're saying? Okay. No, we have to be bottom feeders. I didn't hear what she said. They're scavengers. Do we like scavengers generally? Not so much. Is there anything else about lobsters? What do you know about them? They're bottom feeders. What else? What? Good. Okay, we're going to talk about shells. Anybody else? Because that is where the rabbi went. Okay, everybody now. They defend themselves. Okay, it's good to be able to defend yourselves, but we're going to talk about lobsters and how they have to deal with a shell. Does a lobster have the same shell for their whole entire lives? No. The lady over there wins, right? That's what Rabbi Twersky, MD, wants us to know. Now, if your friends ask, well, what did the new rabbi talk about? Say he talked about lobsters, and he quoted an Orthodox rabbi who taught the following. Rabbi Twersky, remember he was a psychiatrist, he said, if we use stress properly, it can be a stimulus for growth. When the shell gets too small for the growing lobster's body, it has a dilemma, as do we when we're in a tight spot, either literally or figuratively. So Rabbi Twersky asked, how do lobsters grow? He said, well, what do we know about a lobster? Now it does this. But he said a lobster is a soft, mushy animal that lives inside a rigid shell. The rigid shell does not expand. So how can the lobster grow? As the lobster grows, Rabbi Twersky said, the shell becomes very confining. The lobster feels itself under pressure and uncomfortable. So what is the choice it has? Much like we, and clearly, footnote, it's 8 weeks or so before Rosh Hashanah. So I'm using this good story now so you won't hear it again on Rosh Hashanah. But this is the time of year when we have to start figuring out what motivates us to make our decisions. But back to the lobster. Rabbi Twersky says, the lobster has a choice. Some lobsters like to stay and just live with, it's like, I'm okay. Most lobsters go under a rock formation to protect itself from predatory fish. It casts off the shell and it produces a new one. Well, eventually that shell becomes uncomfortable too. So it goes back under the rock and the lobster repeats that numerous times. So what does this teach us? Again, the audience participation part. What do you think? Okay, one at a time, otherwise I think it's God talking to us. Yes? No, you say it again. Right. So we have to change as necessary. Good. Yes.
As the
Right. Do you always have to stay where you are when you're uncomfortable, or you can go under a figurative rock? Maybe. There's no one right answer, right? It's like going to therapy. They'll say, what do you think? So Rabbi Twersky's saying the same thing, right? It can go in many different directions. Anybody else? How this connects to our lives? Yes?
You adjust to your environment.
Right. She said, sorry, for the folks at home and for all of you here, you have to adjust to your environment. Now, clothing is not only the things you're wearing, and notice I'm wearing a tie and a jacket, something I never do, but I will from now on. It isn't only the clothing you wear, but maybe you wear an approach, right? Maybe you make fun of yourself as your way of just deflecting. Oh, I can't do that. Or maybe you're a little arrogant. That came up in discussing for the one of the bar mitzvah young men. We're talking about Moses is saying, Israelites, don't be arrogant. So the things we wear, the way we walk in the world, are not just the things we wear, but the attitude, the approach to life that we have. Let's see what else the rabbi said. The rabbi's key observation is that it's the feeling of discomfort that enables the lobster to retreat and then grow. So number one, it's okay to feel uncomfortable, because that's what allows the lobster to say, oh, this isn't okay. Now sometimes at school it was the bullies that told you that you were wearing like flood pants because you've grown too fast for your clothes. But this is saying, well, once you're grown, you also can get rid of certain ways of living. So he continues, stress becomes the stimulus for future growth. Now he's implying that stress is not necessarily bad. Anybody here think stress is a good thing? It depends, right? What is a setting? I only know a few people's names. I know Toby's. Toby, how do you think that stress is okay?
I use it as an opportunity for growth, I think.
So Toby says, thank you for speaking in short bites. Toby said stress can be an opportunity for growth. Good. Anybody else? Yes. Okay. So Dina said stress is a motivator. Someone want to pick up on that? What do you think that means?
Well, I think it also helps you, as it motivates you, to prioritize what's important.
Okay. It helps you helps you determine that you better decide what's important in life. Yes, young man over there.
You want to try and get rid of the stress, and so you're motivated by that to get rid of it.
Okay. So you're motivated by trying to get rid of this stress, so you know you have to come up with a plan. The way the lobster especially after the lobster had to shed the shell many times, this is happening again. Like you can't ignore it because you've been through it already. Anybody else? Yes, sir, from Cal Poly.
I use stress to help obtain goals and objectives.
Okay, the gentleman said your name. It's like my eye. Harry said stress can help him achieve goals and objectives. Kind of, right? Sort of? Okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Stress leads to progress.
Stress can lead to progress. Say it again.
Otherwise, we stay the same.
Right. Anybody else? In the early 90s, there was a rabbi in New York, Harlan Wexler, and he wrote a book said, What's So Bad About Guilt? It's a whole other talk, but it's similar, I think, because, look, we all make fun, like Jews, that's our everyday language is guilt. So I said that to a Catholic coworker when I worked in hospice. He said, no, don't think the Jews corner the market. My people have it too. But what do you think the rabbi was saying about guilt that is in terms of how it could be positive? How is guilt a positive thing? Or what do you think the rabbi meant? Because he didn't mean you should walk around and give people guilt trips, right? Parents and grandparents, not a good thing. What do you think the rabbi meant? Yes? Tell me your name again. Joanne said if you feel guilty about something, you're not going to repeat the behavior. That's exactly what Rabbi Wexler meant. Like in the everyday world, when you do something, you go, oh my God, did I really say that? Or did I kind of stepped in it? Not a good thing. Right. I think it's the same thing about stress. Stress isn't bad. Where does stress come from? Insight? Oh. Inside you, right? It could be you're in an environment that's stressful, and then maybe you shouldn't be in that environment. Or you have to, and I'm going to stop soon, but in the rest of the talk that I'm not going to give, it talks about, because I'll save something for the high holidays or next Friday, Moses had to deal with conflict resolution. Because in this week's Torah portion, 2.5 of the tribes wanted to stay on the east side of the Jordan. And Moses said, what do you mean? We've been fighting all along to get to the land. I don't get to go. You can go. Why don't you want to go? And he was worried that the last time the people didn't agree with what the leaders said, when the 10 spies came back, and there were only 2, Joshua and Caleb, who said, yeah, we can do it, and 10 said no, it led to a rebellion in the camp. So Moses is saying, really, we're going down this road again? But the part I won't give, that I'm kind of giving, said, but he had to make it a win-win. Because too often in conflict resolution or in stressful situations, what do people think? I win, you lose, you win, I lose. But clearly we have not just been born, we all know that sometimes it can be win-win. So, we're going to conclude by saying stress is not a good thing. I don't hope you have really stressful weeks. But if you do come into a situation that's stressful, you have your community to help you. You have people that give you advice. I love coming to synagogue. One of my mentors, Rabbi Harold Schulweis, of blessed memory, said, the goal of Judaism is not to be alone at the top of a mountain. You're supposed to find a quiet place, but you're supposed to come down, live with other people so you can cope going forward. So as I begin my tenure here, remember the lobster. The lobster's supposed to help you, like when you're it's teaching us that when you're uncomfortable, it's good to be quiet, go to a quiet place, get rid of what's been dragging you down, and then come back, ready to go forward. We continue with Vishamru, page 44. Please rise.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
Uvayom.
Wait.
Uvayom hashvi.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. One more time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם.
This announcement is for Phil in the Northwest. I'll be going onto the pulpit in a moment. What we're doing next is we're going to do Adonai Svatai. We're asking God for the ability to pray. I had a hospice patient. I was a hospice chaplain for 15 years, and one day she said to me, "Rabbi, do you pray?" I said, "Of course I pray. In the evening, in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon." She goes, "No, but do you really talk to God?" I said, "Not so much." So she said, "I talk to God so much, I think God has had enough with me." I said, no, I wanted to reassure her, you should continue to open your heart to God, and I realized I needed to do the same. So for the first Amidah that we're going to do together, it's going to be quiet after Adonai Svatai, when we ask God for the ability to leave behind the week. We're going to have a moment. The official pages are 48 to 62, but if you just want to close the book, think about what's on your mind, think about your blessings, think of some things you need to put aside over Shabbat, that is fine too. So I will go up on the bima and open the ark, and then we'll have quiet time. And when a lot of you are done, we will continue with Shalom Rav on page 60. Adonai Svatai, page 46.
Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi agir tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi agir tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, ufi agir tehilatecha.
When you're finished, please be seated. If you're still praying, please continue. How about I do a reading while a few people finish? The top of page 55, then Shalom Rav. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who are hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its purpose. We now sing about abundant peace, page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasih
Le'olam.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasih Le'olam Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam V'tov be'enecha levarech et amecha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol shah b'shomecha Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam
Some of the things from the quarantine period just have to stay with us. We're going to continue with the Mishaberach, a prayer for healing, whether it's emotional healing, physical healing, spiritual healing, all of it is fine. In the middle, my style at a Reformed Synagogue in Temple City was to stop in the middle and then solicit names. I don't quite know how to get them off the feed, but we will work on that. If there's a way they can magically appear on my iPad, that would be great, or on the screen. But in any event, you don't need a rabbi to include the name. As you're hearing the song, think about the people in your lives that you know need healing. Maybe there are cities in this country that need extra healing, maybe parts of the world, places where that without central air, people are going to schwitz a lot. And we have to remember that it's hot, but I think parts of the country, I think Phoenix has been over 110 for 2 weeks, and at nighttime it doesn't go below 100, never mind other parts of the country. So we pray for many different things, not only for physical healing. Misha Berach, we continue now.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
going to go from right to left. First, anybody on the pulpit? Dr. Ray or Miranda, do you have anyone you'd like to add? No? Going from my right, anyone? Please stand or just raise your hand so we can...
Robin Smith.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody in the far back? As my hand moves, you can just say the name. And over time, I'll be able to hear you and repeat it. Anybody else in this section have a name they want to say? Thank you. Anybody in this section? Okay. Okay, and then the woman wearing teal. Thank you. Sharon? Thank you. Anybody here? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, in the back? Thank you. In the back? It's kind of like an auction. If you touch your head, I'm going to call on you. Yes, over there. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, in the back. Thank you. And I'm adding Bracha Bat Leah, my mom. She's getting old, so we're going to pray for her. I want to encourage, we're going to continue, but anybody that would like me to have those names, either to make a call or to recite the names when you happen not to be here, you're welcome to email me at rabbimuroff@tbolm.org. We continue with the second half of Misha Berach.
Sheberach imotenu lekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We are about to do Aleinu. At the end, we are going to list the different time periods of mourning that people are in. Before we continue, I want to recognize Ron Rockoff is here, whose father, a longtime member, founding member, Harvey, died this week. The funeral is on Tuesday at 11. Other details can be made available, but I didn't want to pretend that we didn't know you were here and just group you in with everybody else. We send condolences to you, and may the strength of the community help you during this time. We rise for Aleinu, page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, atei kedula li'oser breshit, shelo asanu piguyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And a few pages ahead, V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai L'melech 287. Yom Hahu.
Ayom Hahu. Yeh Adonai Echad. Ushemo. Ushemo. Ushemo.
You may be seated. At this time, we recall the following individuals. We've already recognized Ron, expressed condolences. Next are the people for whom Shiva or Shloshim, 7 or 30 days. Jack Pivo, the uncle of Sher Krishmar. The people for whom Kaddish is being said: Mary Lewis, Joel Lowenstein, Arthur Krieger, Maria Paulus Osborne, Ellen Hope Tews, Martin Becker, Nahama Fregoso, Allegra Gordon, Cyrus Chadi, May Salinger, Sally Kravitz, Myron Crystal, Molly Abraham, Phyllis Royce, Barbara Milton, Sandy Zwern, David Blockstein, Blockteen, Robbie Bush, Rita Manning, and the individuals for whom Yahrzeit is being observed at this season: Kenneth Richmond, the brother of William Richmond, Jerry Mailberg, Charles Bogron, Philip Kritschmer, the uncle of Mike Kritschmer, Charlotte Krause, Lorraine Stein, Bess Kessler, the mother-in-law of Joyce Kessler, May Marks Miller, Alma Wolf, the great-aunt of Terry LaVoot and great-great-aunt of Howard LaVoot, Harry Fox, friend of Joyce Kessler and Sherry Held, Maury Nesson, the brother of Rita Rubin, Ruth Haber Gold, the mother-in-law of Eileen Haber, Lillian Sugar, friend of Ted and Terry LaVoot. Are there any people here who would like to add a name that fit into any of these categories? Yes. Thank you. We continue with Mourner's Kaddish. We ask for comfort for the people whose loved ones are mentioned, and we are glad that our community is here to support them. Can I ask, because I didn't ask before, is the custom for everybody to stand during Kaddish, or just the people? So please rise. I like that custom to give support to those who are saying Kaddish. It is found on page 294. We'll say it slowly and clearly. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Umei Omaya Yitborach V'yishtabach V'yitboar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Berichu Le'ila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata Damiram B'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Please remain standing. Miranda will lead us in singing Oseh Shalom, page 294. It's the end of the Kaddish.
If you feel like you'd like to put an arm around your neighbor, I encourage you to do so.
Oseh Shalom B'Romav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
The service is winding down. There's some good cake waiting. But I want to thank everybody who's here, everybody that sponsored the Kiddush. I want to thank Toby for increasing the air conditioning in the middle of the service. Page 4. Vayer v'voker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz, v'chol tzivam, v'yachalolhim b'yom hashvi melachto asher asa, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו. כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. חבריי, my friends, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים. It was a good year for grape juice. Please join me in the Motzi. Ha-Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המוציא לחם מן הארץ, בתיאבון. So I have a page to turn for an official reading, but I simply want to say thank you to everyone who's here, to people that are watching, all the techies, to Dr. Ray. Thank you, Miranda. We've known you for all of 4 days, and we're very glad that you are part of our community, and we look forward to praying together with you again.
Thank you.
Welcome to your dad, who's in the back, and we're very glad that we all could be together. We conclude with Shir Chadash by the great singer of Reform music and writer Julie Silver. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you at the cake that I understand has my name on it, so I'll be rushing to cut it so we can all have ice cream cake together. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Shir Chadash.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song.
Adonai kol haaretz,
Shiru l'Adonai shir Shabbat
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, everybody. Shabbat shalom.